work. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., there'll be a briefing here to introduce the preliminary report of the Independent International Scientific Panel on Artificial Intelligence. The Secretary General is expected to be here to make some opening remarks, and then the briefing will be conducted by the co-chairs of the report, Yoshua Benjo of Canada and Maria Ressa of the Philippines. They will be presenting the findings ahead of the inaugural Global Dialogue on AI Governments, which is scheduled for Geneva the 6th and 7th of July. The two co-chairs will be participating virtually, but the Secretary General will be here in person. Also tomorrow, at some point in the afternoon, there will be a briefing by Ambassadors Zenon Mukongo and Guy, the permanent representative of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, who will be here in his capacity as President of the Security Council for the month of July. We don't have an exact time, but we will get one as soon as we receive one. Just to add to your homework, we may also have a short briefing by the Comptroller, Chandru, tomorrow at some point, given the expected vote in the General Assembly later today. Oh, there she is. It's just in. Stop the presses. There we go. Thank you. This morning, the Secretary General told member states at a meeting for voluntary contributions to the UN Relief and Works Agency, UNRWA, that today's event is happening while the safety and welfare of millions of Palestine refugees hang in the balance. In Gaza, Mr. Guterres noted Israeli attacks have killed more than 1,000 Palestinians since and despite the ceasefire announced last October. He warned that despite all services it provides to Palestinians throughout the Middle East, UNRWA's situation is increasingly precarious. It faces sweeping restrictions throughout the occupied Palestinian territory and a cash shortfall that imperils its work across the region. The Secretary General says he's deeply concerned about UNRWA's liquidity crisis, which jeopardizes its ability to implement its own mandate. Earlier this year, UNRWA was compelled to reduce its service delivery hours by 20%. That meant that reducing salaries for most local personnel and keeping 15% of the international post of the agency vacant. He added that he is appalled by continuing efforts to marginalize and undermine UNRWA through disinformation, through smear campaigns, through legislative actions, through operational restrictions and diplomatic roadblocks, and more. His full remarks were shared with you. I think we've also shared the remarks by the acting Commissioner General, Christian Saunders. My UNRWA colleagues tell us they will be able to give you the total of fresh money in the pledging conference, most likely tomorrow afternoon. It's going to take some time to count, hopefully. Turning to the occupied Palestinian territory, our OCHA colleagues tell us that humanitarian teams in Gaza are assessing the needs of those affected by yesterday's airstrike on Al-Muwasi area in Khan Yunis. Initial information suggests, in addition to the killing of a mother and her baby girl, more than 150 families had their tents destroyed. The tents of 250 other families were also damaged. Survivors have told our partners that Israeli authorities had warned them of an imminent attack. We and our partners will support the newly displaced or affected through rapid joint distributions mechanisms. More generally, our safety and security colleagues tell us that most military activity, including airstrikes, naval fire, shooting, occurred west of the so-called Yellow Line in the last 24 hours, ending at 8 a.m. this morning, local time. They add that civilian casualties were also reported in several of those attacks. Meanwhile, our partners leading on health are warning of a rise in chickenpox cases across the Gaza Strip. In just 2 weeks, they recorded nearly 9,300 cases across more than 130 health facilities. Over half of these cases were in Khan Yunis. Our partners linked this surge to deteriorating environmental conditions, overcrowding, sanitation, and hygiene gaps. We and our partners are sending antihistamines, antibiotics, fever relievers, and other essential medicine. We're also scaling up water trucking to displacement sites, intensifying chlorination, enhancing latrine cleanings, as well as disinfection. 100 health promoters are also being deployed in prioritize locations to educate people on isolation practices and how to seek medical assistance early on. But our partners warn that this response is not enough. To expand treatment coverage, they need more resources, they need more hygiene kits, unimpeded access to affected areas, and of course, sustained funding. Turning to the West Bank, yesterday Israeli forces killed a 15-year-old child during a search operation in Ramallah. We've seen reports that Israeli forces are now looking into that incident. A reminder that law enforcement lethal force can only be used as a last resort. Meanwhile, today, Israeli forces entered UNRWA's oldest vocational training facility, the Kalandia Training Center that is in East Jerusalem. Our colleagues from UNRWA report that Israeli forces took pictures of the premises and announced the center had to close, although no documents or official orders were handed over. The center serves hundreds of students from refugee camps across the West Bank, including many who face difficult socioeconomic conditions and benefit from free education services at that facility. Today's raids breaches the inviolability of UN premises and violated Israel's obligations concerning the privileges and immunities of the United Nations. UNRWA is an integral part of this organization and of the humanitarian community and operates under a clear mandate of the United Nations General Assembly.
Flows. Interpol calls all member countries to strengthen financial intelligence units, invest in the technical capacity of law enforcement agencies, and make full use of Interpol's channels and tools, including iGrip, IFU Connect, and the Silver Notice, to facilitate the timely, real-time exchange of information across borders. The threat is structural, and so must be our answer. That means breaking down silos, investing in financial intelligence capacity, and making use of every tool available, including those Interpol has built precisely for this purpose. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director.